The impact of COVID on the cinema industry has been enormous. Since cinemas closed their doors over 6 months ago, it has been a roller coaster of a journey. Cinemas reopened at the start of the summer, completely compliant with the requisite safety measures, only to struggle with a lack of tentpole movies. Even now, with 80% of cinemas open globally and China's cinemas experiencing pre-COVID audiences, the situation in the US has resulted in a number of the major studios shunting films into the future. With the exception of Trolls and Mulan, studios are sticking with a theatrical release, which is great news. The recent news about Bond moving from this November to April 2021 triggered Cineworld and Picture House to temporarily close their cinemas. Across Pearl & Dean's portfolio of cinemas, 84% of screens are open for business. The recent news about the temporary closures is not the beginning of the end for cinemas, and a number of operators, including Showcase, have pledged that they will stay open. Cinemas which are not so reliant on blockbusters, such as Everyman, are experiencing a higher share of audience and are in relatively strong positions. It will be no surprise to hear that Tenet is the biggest release since cinemas reopened, grossing $16 million in the UK and over $300 million globally. It has remained in the top position for 6 weeks and is testament to the appeal of the blockbuster movie. To add some context to the box office numbers, Tenet has performed at similar levels to Christopher Nolan's last sci-fi release, Interstellar. Tenet, along with After We Collided, which is the YA book adaptation, has driven a greater proportion of 16 to 34-year-olds to the big screen. Interestingly, on the weekend the press have been catastrophising about our beloved cinema industry. The box office was 25% up on the previous weekend, and that's despite no blockbuster releases. If we take a look at Pearl & Dean's admissions, we're still a long way off the audience numbers we enjoyed at the start of the year. But whilst the numbers may not be in their millions, the quality of our audiences has not diminished. Audiences across the summer were circa 25% weight versus 2019. As winter approaches and the nights grow darker and the weather turns colder, and our ability to socialise outside reduces, coupled with the overall boredom levels of the nation and the lack of new content on TV, we anticipate that cinema's appeal will increase further. There are 127 films slated between now and the end of the year, lots of choice and quality content. We all need to support our local cinema and escape to the movies for a couple of hours and remind ourselves of what we're missing.